But ladies and gentlemen, all this is, and I should call you my dear friends and my fellow Americans, because this is all about the brotherhood of freedom, and that we're all a part of, and that we're all so concerned about. And it all just boils down to really what we believe, and what America was founded upon in the first place. And so any time that you're asked, what is government for? Where do we turn to find that? What is government for? Why do we have government? Is there anything in our foundational documents that answers that question for us? Well, there is. We hold these truths to be self-evident, that all men are created equal. You hear politicians spew that every time they're running for office or when they're giving some 4th of July speech, don't you? That among these rights are life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. Do you know the next line? That's where it tells us what government's for. If you're dog catcher, if you're kindergarten teacher, if you're sheriff, if you're county commissioner, if you're mayor, if you're local police department, your state rep, your state senator, your U.S. senator, if they're not doing this one thing, then they're doing the wrong job. They're in the wrong place. That to secure these rights, governments are instituted among men. To secure what? Life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. What can we call the pursuit of happiness? Property. Families. Families owning their own property. The pursuit of happiness is never guaranteed, is it? And that's what the Marxist platform wants to bring to our country now. The same thing that we fought and died for in numerous wars, we're now giving away within. And there's probably something we need to make sure we know and understand there, and that's also in the book. The book starts off with that very principle. The very first page. The founders of America warned us that we would lose more freedoms from gradual encroachments by those in authority than by sudden usurpations from any foreign power. On page 19 of the book, it gets a lot more specific than that. This is a quote from James Madison, the father of our Constitution. And he warned us specifically, this is exactly what he said. There are more instances of the abridgment of freedom of the people by gradual and silent encroachments from those in power than by violent and sudden usurpations. In other words, who's the greatest threat to a God-given constitutional American liberty? It is our own federal government. Let's make no mistake here. And then Thomas Jefferson warned us that when all power shall be drawn to Washington, it will render powerless the checks provided and become as venal and oppressive as the government from which we separated. He's talking about King George III. And now we have a government that pretends there are no limitations, that they can do anything they want, anytime they want, completely ignore the Constitution, and the very people who have promised us that they would uphold and defend the Constitution and protect our rights are the very ones destroying it. And when that happens, is there a place we can turn for help? Are there public officials that we can depend on? Are there people locally who have promised us that they would protect us even from venal and oppressive government? When government becomes that venal and oppressive, can we count on the very people locally who swore in God's name that they would serve us and protect, defend, and preserve our constitutional rights? I'm telling you that the evidence is irrefutable, and it's right here, and we're going to review this a little bit. But this is the thing. The encroachments are no longer silent, nor are they gradual. But they're right in our face, and they're bold, and they're as hot as it is tonight. They are there right in front of us. And that's why we're here tonight. And let me remind all of you, and those of you who might be here just checking this meeting out for other government officials, you're welcome to be here, because you know why? This is a peaceful process. This is a patriotic process. And I guarantee each one of you that this peaceful process will remain such if your sheriffs get behind it. If your local officials do not get in the position and take the position of protecting you from the incursions and encroachments of the federal government, then we will watch America die. She's really, really sick right now, and she's hanging on by a thread. But we can revive her. Where? Right here in this county. And we'll take our country back county by county, because you only need a handful of officials here locally to do it with you. In Washington, D.C., you need like 500 and all these lobbyists and corporate money and corruption and cesspool that it is. Like I said, it's not the answer. And it hasn't been for a long time. And we need to come to grips with that. And we all need to focus on this one thing, on this one solution. I didn't come here to just tell you how bad the problem is. You already know that. I came here with a solution, a lawful, constitutional solution endorsed by the United States Supreme Court and the case that I filed there. This is true. And we can pick this up and run with it. We don't have to watch the futures of our children die in front of us, or our grandchildren. We can make this happen. And that's why I'm so glad that so many of you are here tonight, because you can make this happen. And there's children here, and maybe it's going to be up to some of them too. And we can take America back. And that's really what the theme is here. And we're not talking about violence at all. We invite all to come to this movement in a peaceful manner. And we mean no harm to any other person on the face of the planet. Even federal agents. We mean them no harm. But make no mistake, we will keep our freedom, we will keep our families, and we hope that you will keep your oath of office. That's where all this boils down to.